Okay. Fuck, I'm still a little sick, but doesn't matter. How are we doing? How are we doing, guys? Let's fucking go. It's Friday then. JMC, what up? I didn't even know that today is actually bank holiday. So, I mean, probably not too much action. I was waiting for anyone to come in, but especially since we have a bank holiday, I was wondering why there's so little volatility. But now I get it. But I feel like nothing has actually changed. It's like the same stuff. I mean, this is in play, and since we actually turned the value area low here into support, you're going to look for a rotation all the way up to the value area high. So first TP, point of control, second TP, value area high. If this is resistance and you have good data, you could actually try and short that because it's a very good level, but I highly doubt that the data really supports it. So as far as I can see, it's just really, I feel like it's quite dangerous to start shorting with all the short liquidity. But from a market cipher perspective, I could see the idea of trying a short on the higher time frames, because all the lower time frames look, in my opinion, very bullish. Momentum started to look a little more exhausted, I feel like. Yeah, definitely. I mean, no matter on the lower or higher time frames, for sure, but you know how it is. There's always the chance that this just creeps up over the weekend, everything resets, then Monday market open and this just keeps going up. I feel like it's mainly about the higher time frames. This is actually sustainable, and I mean, as long as they don't break the lower low, like as long as they do something like this, it's fine. But if they start to actually break below this and turn this into resistance, well, then you might have a shot either on this one or even lower. So this is at least my idea of what is going on right now. We talked about that on stream as well, or you did. Like, this is a very good low, and I could see it actually rotating higher and higher up. Nevertheless, I would be really careful and maybe also like a little bit passive with, or I wouldn't try to aggressively long as soon as there is a bigger pullback, since I don't believe that this is the bottom. I mean, it's similar to the stuff you had before. You always had it up here, and also like in this regions you always have the golden pocket retrace, and then it's going lower. So you had this as the golden pocket, and now you're starting to do something like this. Question is if the golden pocket holds and it's going to send it even lower. I wouldn't be surprised, and that's why I feel like it's a hard time to aggressively try anything. That's also the reason why I did not aggressively long that, because overall environment and bias, at least from my perspective, is not too bullish yet. I mean, shoutouts to everyone who got that long, because it's a very good trade and it was a very easy setup, but I'm not too afraid of missing out. I mean, yes, I don't have that entry, I have it up here, but for me that's fine, because on this one I had way more edge than on this one. Because look at this, you had, to be honest, I even thought about shorting that, because you had the trendline retest. But yeah, I mean, that's just me. Maybe I'm sometimes a little bit cautious, and that's why I don't have the best entries all the time, but that's fine with me. So we have a total outflow on July the 2nd, or let's say during the whole week we had a total outflow of 2 billion, 32k Bitcoin, almost 33k. So the outflows are still heavy, but to be honest, this is also the thing. I haven't monitored all the in and outflows during the bull market, so you can obviously see how it developed. And also this one, I think this one is the more interesting one. So you can see how the in and outflows actually changed, but it's also the first time for the BlackRock ETF that they're going through the bear market and through the transition into the bull market. So I can't sit here and pretend like I exactly know how the in and outflows are going to be during the bear market bottom. So that's why I'm just observing it and trying to understand when they are actually starting to deposit and what that means, how it affects the markets. Because I mean, yes, it's an ETF, but it's not moving the whole market. Obviously, spot is more important than futures, but there are also other entities. But if you are rotating all the way up here, you are opening the gates, in my opinion, for a rotation to the bigger point of control. If you zoom out on the daily, right now we are barely scratching on the value area low and we haven't turned it into support yet. So if this is turned into support and we actually go above it, that would mean staying above the point of control of the smaller range. Then the classic rotation would be to the point of control or even to the value area high, even though I would not assume that it will move all the way up here. Anything can happen for sure, but be careful with the bias in this case, because yes, it's possible, but try not to be too sticky to your bias, trying to ride your long all the way up to 75k. But yeah, nevertheless, if you are turning the point of control into support, you're looking at the smaller range value area high, which is around here, and then you're looking at this point of control above. So those are definitely the levels for the next week and probably even weeks ahead. Market size on the daily, as I said, has a very high VWAP. Momentum is coming up again, so there still is room to the downside. You still have red money flow, not too thin in my opinion. And yeah, the weekly, I mean, if you look at the previous bear market bottom here, you can see how the weekly developed. It took a while, and if you look at this from a structural perspective, the first time when this gained bullishness was here, when they actually finally made a higher high. Well, you could argue that this was the first higher high because it was like this, but in my opinion the real bullishness came here, and this was also when money flow was really coming up once again. And now this will take a couple of weeks until this is going to reset. So I am sticking by my idea that this is not the bottom, and I'm not trying to hit the home run for the long. I would rather aggressively shave the long than round tripping everything. But this is just me. I mean, you need to do what you need to do. The 1 hour looks great though, I can't lie. Shorter time frame, lower time frame, I feel like there's still a little bit room to the upside, but higher time frame is, in my opinion, still not bullish. And then, I mean, once we start the next week on Monday, I will be interested if we are in a short from here, or if we are still in the long and we are up here trying to short that. It depends. And if we look at SpaceX, this is also what I'm thinking is really interesting. Shifted structure. So you had the swing fail of the IPO low here. We've mentioned that on stream very clearly, that it was a clean swing fail, clean retest, but you did not get the higher high. Now you got it, and now you even have a pretty decent retracement, I would say. Golden pocket retracement screams like another higher high. In the bigger scheme of things, it's still nowhere near the all-time high. So this will be interesting. For now, I'm gonna leave it like this. I've put the mark when they are actually allowed to sell the first bunch. I think it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's like 20%. Nah, 7%. Okay. We are going to be back on Monday, strong as ever. We have talked about levels to the upside, levels to the downside. We have talked about what we are looking at. You have to figure out if you really want to take a trade over the weekend or if you want to wait for Monday market open. All things to consider. We've talked about the bias and the overall plan. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy it. And then we will come back on Monday. Peace.